old-fashioned way with my phone. Hello again, and welcome to another episode of the Fun Fans Podcast. I'm your host, James Dillard. With me, as always, my co-host Bailey Jackson. How you doing, Bailey?
I'm good. It's a wacky Wednesday, but Clemson beat Carolina last weekend, so all's well.
We're going to enjoy, as we said Sunday, we will enjoy the victory, and we have the bragging rights for an entire calendar year. So it is the midweek, and this is our last midweek show of the football season. And just to kind of point out there, we're coming every Sunday, but the holiday, Christmas, and bowl season, we're gonna throw it out there depending on Clemson's schedule and the bowl schedule and Bailey's schedule and my schedule. So there'll be at least one podcast a week though. But we appreciate you joining us here on Wednesday of Championship Week 2023. You see scrolling across, I'm sporting my new True Victory. These things are just super comfortable. So go to truevictory.com, enter promo code TheFanboys as it says at the bottom of the screen. This orange looked a little closer to Clemson orange when I ordered it, but whatever. It's an extremely comfortable shirt, and it's a veteran-owned company, so we're proud to be partners with those guys. There's a ton going on, lots of stuff been going on, and the first thing we want to talk about are some accolades that our players received. I think this just yesterday, if not maybe the day before. So we have some all ACC selections. Baylor, are you surprised by any of these?
Or I can't really see them.
Can't see them. You got
Stool. They're on the screen, but how many first team all ACC?
I'm sorry, say that part again.
Who made first team? Tyler Davis, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Nate Wiggins. Yeah, so three first teamers.
Yes.
I mean, it's an honor to be first, second, or third. But
first, second, third.
I was listening to radio in Charlotte today. They were talking about some of it. Some people got awards that shouldn't have, and some people didn't get them, and they thought they should have. So anyway.
Well, you've been pointing this out all season. How many of these guys are underclassmen, which then will be back next year? Then all the way across the top, right? A row. Everybody except Trotter and Wiggins, I believe.
I think Putnam's a senior.
Putnam might be a senior, so
yeah.
So we have at least say half of our all ACC players will be returning to Clemson. And congratulations to these guys. Maybe if you can see this on your screen better than Bailey can. And
yeah, I have two screens going, and the pictures of us, they're very small on my computer screen.
Pretty small. Yeah. But it's all out there. So congratulations to those guys on a great season. Another thing going on right now, and this is kind of new to college football. This is the players are announcing their decisions. The portal doesn't open, my understanding, until December 4th. And we're not going to dive into that's not what y'all know. That's not what we do here. But I've got on here, players are making their declarations, which is to us is not fun. We like folks to stick around and whatnot, but it's fine, especially for those that are following coaches or whatever. But I do have to say, I did get a little excited when I heard the possibility of the ETN from Florida possibly entering the portal and how it was implied that there may be some interest. People in the media and places, they think they know, and maybe they do, but it was implied that there may be some interest for Clemson. That'd be a pretty good pickup, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think Clemson offered a lineman today.
Yeah.
Division II lineman that's been offered by like 5 or 6 D1 schools, because I think we lost out on a recruit that ended up signing with or committing to Illinois. Figure that one out. But yeah, so I think they use the they'll use the portal if they have a need. And I would just wait and see what happens with Shipley and before I brought in another scholarship running back.
Right. Well, another thing that was announced, and this is really good news, some fun news. Xavier Thomas has announced that he will play in our bowl game. And I've,
Jeremiah Trotter Jr. announced that he would not.
well, I was about to say, we're old school, so we're not fans of the not playing in the bowl game, or at least I'm not. I don't want to speak for you, but you kind of understand. And I was thinking before this happened, if there was anybody on the Clemson's team that I would have definitely understood sitting out the bowl game, it would have been Xavier Thomas due to his, he's missed enough due to injuries previously. So that was good news to hear, in my opinion. I wish they all would play. I think if somebody were to ever go back and look at the data for injuries in bowl games and how that affected your draft status, it might be a little, but I guess they just figure it's not worth the risk or something. But I was glad to hear that Xavier's going to be playing with us one more time. The other not fun thing that, this is coaching carousel time. Once again, not going to dive into all that. And if you've listened to the show, you've heard how Bailey and I feel about coaches being let go and stuff. But it's one thing, it begins the domino effect. And that part does get somewhat interesting sometimes. I think the Elko hire A&M is definitely a headline story. You think that's a good fit, Bailey?
Well, he used to be the defense coordinator there, and he's going to become extremely rich. And I can't blame him one bit. He did a great job at Duke, made Duke relevant again, even though he took over for Cutcliffe, who did a good job at Duke too. The ceiling is only so high at Duke.
Correct.
The ceiling at A&M is a national championship.
That is correct. I guess the theory is if he can do what he did at Duke, no offense, Duke, but let's just be real, then he should be able to do whatever.
Supposedly they offered a job to Stoops from Kentucky, and he was then somebody pulled the plug on it, and the board of trustees or somebody, and so he's like, it's like he's like the third prom date you ask, and somebody finally said yeah.
Somebody finally said yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good for him. Congratulations, Mike Elko. And the other thing that was interesting to us, and kind of because we've been, all the Clemson folks have heard a lot about Oregon State this year with DJ being over there, but doggone, they didn't lose their coach. He was there, my understanding, 2 years, built the program from not very good at all to being, they're ranked. And then he up and goes to Michigan State. So I kind of hate that for the Beavers. But that's, things like that are the reason why was one of the driving points of the transfer portal. So kids go to a school and then the coach leaves and they have the opportunity to leave as well. So, but I kind of hate that for Oregon State, don't you think? Could they just not? Was it a Pac-12 thing or was it a money thing? I know we don't really know.
Michigan State had paid their previous coach. He was like the third highest paid coach in the country.
Oh, he was up there.
So Jonathan Smith played quarterback at Oregon State. So it had to be life-changing money to leave your alma mater and go to Michigan.
to the Spartans.
To Lansing.
So, well, good luck to him. But Oregon State's already promoted a coordinator, so hopefully they just feel they got a good thing going. They can keep that going there, Oregon State as well. So anyway, enough about all that stuff. It's a fun domino. The 5th college football poll has been released. Oh, and I have a graphic this time. Hopefully we can see that a little bit better. Look at that tiger paw, Bailey.
I
know. 2, 3. Okay, so
they're way better now.
I agree. Okay, so the only thing that changed, and once again, these conversations could go on for, and I love the what ifs. I do personally. But I will only do one or if you want to do another one, I'll remind the listeners of my bold prediction. But obviously, we're just pointing out that Michigan beat Ohio State. Ohio State fell to number 6. They kept Ohio State ahead of Alabama and Texas. I don't know if they did that for a reason, but I'm telling you, people, you have to remember the committee has done things untraditional from most other polls. They will not have a problem depending on what happens this Saturday with Texas or Alabama jumping right back up there into the top 4, you don't have to be 1 or 2 away to move up into that spot. They've done it before. And the only thing my reminder is this is a pretty bold prediction, and some people have talked about it, and they all say it'll never happen. It'll never happen. But I predicted Florida State to be the first and what'll end up being the only, because we're going to 12 teams next year, undefeated conference champion that's going to be left out of the college football playoffs. So we'll see.
The only way that happens is if Alabama beats Georgia.
Alabama beats Georgia and Oregon beats Washington.
If Oregon beats Washington, they're in and Washington's out.
But then the Alabama, I think if Alabama beats
this is
Georgia,
not going to jump anybody,
and Washington wins, that still might do it. But I think it kind of legitimizes it a little bit if they replace more than one. If there's more than one loss team in there, is kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah, but I don't have. I'm my opinion. If the Tigers aren't in it, who cares?
Well, and the other thing is it'll all play out. And speaking of it all playing out, all right. That said, so let's get to the games. For this weekend, you talking about small? That's tiny. Man, who's the producer of this show?
I can see that better than the ACC graphic because it has the logos. All right, I'm gonna pick them right now. Texas, Georgia, Washington, Florida State, Michigan. So guess what? Everybody's supposed to win's gonna win.
All right. So here's my question. Do you know what Vegas says?
I do not.
Oregon is a 9.5 point favorite.
Where's the game?
Neutral site.
Well, I know that, but where is it?
I don't know. I don't know exactly, but
we're not prepared.
That's the one.
Because Clemson's not in it.
Clemson's not in it. So I agree with I think Oregon is going to, I agree with Vegas. I think Oregon's going to beat Washington, and I think Alabama has a chance. Alabama might, that one's a might.
Yeah, well, Alabama always has a chance to beat anybody.
Right. Well, but that one's a coin toss. I don't know what the spread is on that one, but I would guess it's probably pretty close. And that could really mess up the apple cart. Hey, but this is what we talk about on this show. That Oklahoma State, Texas, which ones are going to be fun to watch? Okay. On a scale of 0 to fun, I think the Oklahoma State, Texas is going to be fun because the ball's going to move all up and down the field a pretty good bit. And all these teams are going to get after each other, but that one's going to be fun. I think Alabama, Georgia is going to be a good old fashioned they're going to be hitting each other. That's going to be fun to watch. A slobber knocker. I used that phrase in a podcast recently. Oregon and Washington. I mean, get the kicker ready. Fire up the cannon or whatever they do when somebody scores. Fireworks. That one should be fun. Louisville, Florida State. I'm not so sure about this one. I think that one might slow down a little bit. It'll be interesting to ACC folks, and of course, interesting to everybody to see what starts to happen. And I don't think the last one will be very fun at all. I think Michigan's going to kill Iowa, right? I mean,
I don't know.
They've been beating the hound out of everybody. That's really, they still only beat 2 good teams all year long, which is fine but they beat the hound out of everybody else. I don't know that one will be, which Big Ten football sometimes is not all that fun to watch. Anyway,
Iowa's definitely not any fun to watch.
Yeah,
their best players are punter.
So they're almost listed from most fun to watch down to the bottom.
Right.
What do you know? So that's the prediction from the fun fans on how fun it's going to be to watch. And speaking of fun, we got big plans for one thing that is fun about this. One of these games is Friday, so that's nice.
Yeah, I have to work.
We'll kick off the fun on Friday night. What do you got to do Friday?
We have a basketball game.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, it's my job.
So Friday night, the fun will begin, and it'll continue all through Saturday. What about Saturday? I know Clemson's not playing, but at any point during this time, you're going to do any college football watching?
I mean, I'm sure I'll watch some of it. I'm refereeing 4 basketball games starting at 9 o'clock.
So Bailey, this will be your second season not coaching basketball, correct?
Correct.
And you're still working as much during basketball season, or almost?
No, I don't go every day to practice. I don't watch film for hours on end. I don't work every Sunday on just basketball. So no, it's not the same. But we're getting ready to ramp up. We had an away game last night. Our teams did, and Friday night's first home game, and then I referee on the weekends.
Well, good. Keeping busy. That'll keep you out of trouble, maybe just like when we were kids or something. Well, I have Christmas stuff starting already. So I plan on being the lazy football fan in the recliner during the day games, but then Saturday evening we have some family Christmas stuff, which will be fun, of course. But these things start merging, and we'll talk about that more as we get into the playoffs.
I have trouble just sitting around watching games all day.
We do. Oh, I have no trouble
because I just need to get up and move around every now and then.
Well, I can be doing
and plus
something
Clemson's
else.
Not playing, so there you go. All right.
All right. And
but I'll tell you who is playing. Clemson basketball.
That's right.
Saturday at 2:00 at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a very good team also, but last night they put a beat down on Alabama at Alabama. Huge win for the Tigers.
Huge win. 6-0 on the season. And
first time since 2008, 2009.
And you said before that win over Alabama is the type of win, if there's question at the end of the season, if they're on the bubble, that's the kind of win that
is a quad one win.
Yeah. So
I mean, Alabama is very difficult to defend. They were ranked in the top 10, 15 preseason. They lost a game or two, but they were leading the nation in scoring. And Clemson, and they made a run, and Clemson just continued to answer. They look like a very, very good team. And I don't want to hear anybody talk about how bad Brad Brownell is. The guy knows basketball inside and out, and he coached his tail off last night. And they have a very good team.
He's put together a good team, and they're playing really, really well. Yeah.
They open the ACC play up Saturday at 2:00 at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh very good too. And then next Wednesday, the Gamecocks come to town, which yours truly will be in the building.
Next Wednesday?
Yes.
I'll be in Hilton Head.
That sounds terrible.
Nah. Oh, well. We'll put together a trip, though, over there, a Fun Fan basketball trip or something. Speaking of other things we're putting together, we're going to make a bold prediction, BOWL, a BOLD, BOW. We don't have to be all that bold. We're going to tell you where the Tigers are going because we know. We don't know, but we're going to make a guess. And we're going to say it's what?
Everybody's saying it's going to be the Holiday Bowl in
we're going to go with
San Diego.
We're going to go with the Holiday Bowl. We're going to play the DJ Beavers in the Holiday Bowl. That's the prediction from the Fun Fans. However, I'm over here with my fingers crossed that it's Jacksonville, the Gator Bowl. That's what the Fun Fans are hoping for, but we're predicting. So we'll see if we're correct on Sunday when we come back to the show. We'll know by the time we live Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern. By then we'll know, right?
Yeah, we should.
That'll be awesome. So join us here, and we'll definitely have some last minute discussion about that. And other than that, any other sports highlights or updates?
Keep your eye on the Tigers soccer programs as they continue in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, they're still going. So
I love all things Clemson.
If you couldn't tell,
I fell asleep last night.
Anything
at
close
halftime.
to orange.
When I woke up at 3:30, I watched the second half.
You went back and watched it.
And I was so excited, I could not go back to sleep.
I fell asleep, and when I woke up in 5:45, I just checked the score. Good job, Tigers. But I was halfway through the second half.
I was just going to take a quick nap at halftime. and 4 hours later, I woke up.
Sometimes. Fun Fans, we know what we're doing. A little bit
That's
old
right.
Fans. But anyway, we appreciate everyone checking us out. every Wednesday this season. We appreciate the midweek. So this is the wrapping up the midweeks, but we will still be coming every Sunday, and we'll have a schedule of other podcasts, some, maybe a couple extra ones during the bowl season after Christmas. That week between Christmas and New Year's is just flat awesome for college football fans. It depends on when Clemson plays, like we said. Don't forget to click subscribe on the Fun Fan Podcast YouTube channel, as well as your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on all social media and share away. On behalf of the Fun Fans Podcast, J Thrill Entertainment, the Fanboys Fangirls Podcast Network, Rubens Food, Sports, Spirits, and Catering, Diamond Edge Products, and Bailey Jackson.
Tigers are number one.
Always number one. Thanks for listening.